Hello, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're all well. Happy Tuesday. Blue is chomping things right there. Are you chomping?
Oh,
bring that here.
Trade for
yeah. Bring that here. Hi, Christy. It's good to see you. Bring it to me. We'll trade.
You got anything to give her?
No, but I'm gonna just take it from her. Let me. She's trying to give me trash to trade for a treat. One moment.
Any snacks over there?
No, I only have a Skittle, which I don't want to give her. I have a cracker.
Give her a cracker.
Here, you want this cracker?
So she'll trade you.
Trade. Thank you. Easy. Crunchy. All right. We are going to try to finish this game today. That's what we trying to do. Last section of the last game, or the last section of the last case of the third game in the trilogy. We're close. Let me know how everything sounds, if everything's too loud or soft or whatever. February 10th, 3:36 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 7. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. Tests? Yes, tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, that! I totally forgot about it. Me too. No, stop. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or... Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Yeah! It was Maya's. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Thank you, Christy. Agreed. Very well, please bring in the last witness. Bro, she probably looks so rough. Oh no, she looks normal. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the Inner Temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Alisto Nim's murder? Is this correct? I didn't see the...
Objection!
Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. Quit barking. Somebody out there? Somebody out there? You gotta look, the people are gonna look at you. Hi, people! Hi, people! What's the matter? Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm so upset right now. Okay. But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. Bruh, she's gone through it. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Something warm? Like blood? So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff? Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Huh. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. This girl's been through it. She's been kidnapped. She's been accused of murder. She's been accused of murder again. I was passing through... Okay, let's press all these things. Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course, but I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then did Iris actually come later like she said? Well, let me think. She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Okay, someone struck me over the head. Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was right in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do? Press her harder. Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Wasn't her body already taken over by somebody?
Possibly. Or it was dark. Well, let me think. It was, Oh, yeah, that's right. It was dark. That's it. It was dark. It's not good to have too much light around when someone's undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was an earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime. Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by Elise Donem, Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think. You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at that time. Well, now this is beginning to get interesting. So what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was gonna lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So what did you do then? I think I screamed, help me. You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details? My last hope. Wait a minute, Maya, what's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me. Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like what do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh yeah, oh, that's right, I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming at too for help. So there were two people over there? What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. What are you talking about? Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker there was another person? Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? Well, wait. That would make sense because if Maya was attacked and then locked into the cage thing, and then Elise was killed, but her body ended up on the other side, then there had to have been a third person. So that makes sense. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure? You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now. Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say, under the lantern darkness reigns? So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Then something warm splashed over me. You don't mean, was it? I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood. She's saying that's when Miss Do-Nim, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer. At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness. So what happened next? I don't remember. How were you saved? You don't even remember that? No, I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all. That's too bad. I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. I'm gonna pull up a little help thing so that I know how far I have to go. Burr, 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 burr. Burr, 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 burr. Okay. So this is, hang on, this is split. This last section is split into 1, 2, 3, 4 testimonies. And then we're done. So. Hold on. This says a lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. So how could she see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern? Objection! So there was a man standing behind your attacker? Yeah. That man, he's the killer? He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Do-Nim, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Godot, explain this! Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of café au lait. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Trite's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon. I'm no spoony pot, I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Objection! Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick! May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No! Order! 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 What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch-black conditions? Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. Objection! There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark, and now you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Huh. You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. I have a feeling I might have to make a decision soon, so I'm going to save. Yeah. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? All right, well, the only men we have to choose from are Godot, Gumshoe, Larry, and Miles.
I never trusted Miles.
Miles is our friend.
Either Larry's a really good actor or he's too stupid to do something like that.
Larry is pretty dumb.
But he'd have a hard time hiding it if he did it.
Could it be Godot? That would be a weird
Maybe
twist.
His face is covered, so
That would be a weird twist. I don't know.
I don't think the gumshoe guy. Miles is the only one that ever gave like really good.
But Miles wasn't even present.
That we know of.
Miles showed up after Phoenix tried to run across the bridge and fell in.
So where was prior to that?
I don't know, but we started playing as Miles when that happened.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm gonna guess Larry because it's... I don't know. That was bad, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. I would not have pegged Miles for 26 years old. Hi, CJ. How old were you thinking Miles was? Okay, so it wasn't Larry. I mean, I guess I could present Miles. Oh no, that's not it either. Yeah, I don't think it would have been Gumshoe at all. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself.
Because of the thing on his
Probably.
Does it glow at night
And
or
remember,
something?
he said that the pillar was clean, but that's because of his red glass, like the red thing, so he couldn't see the blood. Oh, you thought Miles was at least 10 years older than that? No, I think Phoenix and Miles are the same age. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
So does
This is...
Godot's thing glows, doesn't it?
I don't know. But it can't be! Yeah, he glows! He glows! That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite. So this man's straight up a killer? Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order, order, order! Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Heyo! Hey Britt, how's it going? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya! I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man, for a totally different reason. What? How goes things here? Things is going. I have no sense of anyone's age IRL anyway. I see strangers posting a birthday selfie like I'm 26 today, and it's an apparently 45-year-old, or at least no way that they're younger than me. This is true. Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone, and all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor, No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. Okay, tell me more. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes, I think. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed. So then the person that carried you into the inner temple? It could only have been the killer. That's what I think too. So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. I don't know. It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. The torches were lit. Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. And all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. Why would the killer move the body? Why, for the love of the game, obviously. Exactly. I didn't notice that about the snow until right now. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If a killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. But I think this will help explain them. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? Yes, but earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. Alright. He said he needed to gather more information before he asked her again, so... The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. They did it for your sake? Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true. Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems, too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. I'm no lawyer, but this kind of sounds like speculation. Yeah. Master of Karain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. Hi, Puffy. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? Okay. Let's look at our evidence. Is for my sake. Would this be part of that? No. Maybe.
So wait, if the blood on that knife stuck in the pine tree is not the victim,
But we don't know whose it is, but...
Maybe it's the killer's. Maybe the victim fought
Or
back.
Maya's. But I don't know if Maya has any injuries.
But if it could be the killer's.
I want to know if the blood on this sphere and the blood on this dagger match.
Oh, they didn't say whose blood it was on the sphere?
Mm-mm.
I think the dagger was stabbed the killer. I think someone was trying to protect him. I don't know. Maybe.
It's possible. But also I don't understand how... See how this still says Maya? So how... This seems like a contradiction, because if the killer cleaned up the scene in order for Maya to not be suspected, then Maya in blood seems like a big suspicion to miss. You know what I mean?
Unless you couldn't see the red because of your goofy glasses.
True.
So you...
I don't know.
But you wouldn't have seen the red to clean up the snow, so you just cleaned up a huge section of snow.
And didn't clean up the lantern.
Right.
So maybe that's still the thing I need to talk about. Oh, okay. The body of Alisto Nim was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then, at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? 'Cause it was Godot! Oh, you're right! And he didn't see it! 'Cause of his eyeballs! Order, order, order! But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection.
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Let me save. Okay, why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? The killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya, or the killer didn't notice it? If we did the killer didn't notice it, then that still pins Godot. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense! The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. But we got a freak standing over here! What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Yeah, I haven't played this one before. Why does bro look like a cyberpunk character? Yeah, I am like 95% sure that he is Armando, who used to be Maya's mentor. Mia's mentor. Sorry, Mia's mentor in a flashback case that we played earlier. And then something happened. I don't know what happened to him, but now he's that. He's Godot. He really likes Cyclops. Hi, Terror. That freak Rose Winterspring probably did it. Yeah, she probably did. You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood! Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you cannot see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. This is the apron. Oh, this is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. I wonder what happened to him. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Huh. It's strange. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps. Didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Donem, also known as Miss Misty Fey. It's hard to believe this may be true, however, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on, how does a little graffiti make me into the killer? And besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. Objection! I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trite. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow? The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Ah, could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? I'm confused, though, because he really loved Mia, like that was his protege, and he was very upset and angry that she died. So why would he try to kill Mia's mother and frame Mia's little sister? That's the part I don't understand. Wait, just a minute! Maya? What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Objection! Maya, you can't testify to something like that. What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm... After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trite. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the Inner Temple, too! Pearlie was also stuck on the Inner Temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, but she couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearlie?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
So when did you hear about this?
Have channeled Godot and made him
I don't think that I think it's been established that the spirit mediums, they can only channel spirits of the dead.
Okay.
I don't think they can channel people that are still alive.
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot! Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. So this is number 3. Yeah. I'm just trying to, like, keep up with how much I have left to do. Yeah, okay. So this is chunk number 3.
Pearlie was also stuck on the Inner Temple side that night.
Oh, I forgot I need to press things. Press, press, press.
Press it like an orange for some juice.
So what did you... So where did... What? So where did do you think Pearls slept that night? Are my eyes deceiving me, or is that what that says? So where did do you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the Inner Temple in the first place? It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spirit training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Well, answer the question. Where did do you think? Phoenix did do speak goodly. Yeah. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the Inner Temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Alisto Nim.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone.
I see the what you did was what you read. I see the what you did was what you read. Yeah. She searched the entire Inner Temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The Inner Temple side has 2 structures, the training hall and a spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There was a storage shack, too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room.
Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge?
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl, all alone like that. Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the Sacred Cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time.
So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did a defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hello, hello! Hope you're well as well. I'm doing pretty good. Hot nights and even hotter coffee, that's what I always say. If it hadn't have been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I'll think I'll pass. So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? Huh. You want to say something, Trite? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Yes, then Mr. Godot... He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
He cheered her up?
That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Huh. Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves, in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs, so I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Maybe I can ask both? So you cheered Pearls up. When I found that little girl, the first thing she asked about was her cousin, Maya Fey.
Really?
The bridge had burned down and she was huddled up in that tiny shack with no heat, even though she must have had a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said a thing about herself.
Pearly.
I noticed that you weren't anywhere on the Inner Temple side, but I couldn't find it in me to tell her that, so I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth. What a sweet story. He had a thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Alista and him. I want to ask the other question on that I could ask in that fifth statement, too. He cheered her up? Okay. Yeah. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Fey, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? So from there, you headed for the prep room? Wait a sec, what did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple. Okay, so the scroll? So he's talking about the scroll. Because, okay, hang on. His weak spot is gravy? I mean, whose isn't? So if he arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time, and he's talking about the glory of Misty Fey in the scroll, by this point, that scroll would have been covered in gravy, so how would he know what it looked like?
Unless he'd been there before.
That's why I think that it wasn't his first time. So I'm gonna try to give the scroll here and see if that does anything. Look at me, I'm on a roll. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? Hi, Diamond. How's it going? An incredible statement for someone who has never experienced a Phoenix Wright game before. What statement? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with... Oh, he couldn't have seen the scroll. It was covered in gravy. Yeah. I'm so hyped. I finally made it for my fave case of the game. Well, I'm toward the end here, so I'm trying to finish it tonight. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
Wait a minute, Nick!
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly, so if you know the meaning of the mark...
Then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place. There's telling on yourself, and then there's Godot. Hi, Ringo. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
You mean to tell me you have Japanese clothing on under all that gravy? Yeah. Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another... I didn't save in time. Uh-oh. Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Oh, Lord.
The person who wrote the burnt note?
Yeah, which would have been Morgan Fay. If I get this wrong, Uh-oh. Oops. I need to save because I just lost 3.
What?
Like, of my health bar by
no.
guessing wrong. And I didn't save before I made that decision. So now I only have 5 health left. Oh. There's only one way he could have known about the crime. Okay, now I can reload if I'm wrong. Is it really possible that another person knew of the plan? Pearly. Nope. Load. Who could have known of this?
Zucchini?
Oops. Everything's fine. I just knocked over a little shelf that I have under here. I guess, okay. Would Misty have known? Oh, I'm bad at this. Maybe Maya knew? Ah! I'm just gonna guess everybody, I guess. Are you going to BTS's tour? I want to so badly, but I can't, unfortunately. I cannot afford a ticket. However, I know somebody who is going to try to get me one. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. But after my accident, and I owe lots of money to the hospital for fixing my hand, and then having to get a new car, I just don't have the funds to be able to get myself a ticket. But if a friend of mine approached me and asked me if she could buy me one, and I said, if that's really what you want to do, sure. But who knows if we'll be successful. What about the redhead? Well, she's dead. So, I mean, I guess she could know, but no.
Bikini?
I guess it could have been Bikini, but I don't know how.
Maybe the dead person while she was being channeled was given the information.
I tried to guess her.
Oh.
Yeah, I guessed Morgan, Dahlia.
What about Godot? Maybe go back around to him?
No. What about Iris? I could guess her. I mean, I haven't guessed any. I gotta guess everybody at this point, I guess. What if it's something weird like Mia knew that this was gonna happen? That hasn't stopped dead people in this franchise before. Hi, Batty. It was definitely Larice. You know, if something stinks, it's probably the butts. I don't know.
How many people have you have left to guess? Like 2?
Okay, let's see. I have guessed. I have guessed Maya, Mia, Pearl, Godot, Bikini, Iris, Dahlia, and Morgan. I have not guessed Gumshoe, Elise, Larry, Franny, or Miles.
Maybe Larry.
I don't understand this.
The dumb guy, after all, who forgot. Maybe he knew, but he forgot because he's dumb, or he misunderstood what they meant. So it wouldn't have mattered if he knew because...
Watch me not even... Maybe I'm supposed to be presenting a piece of evidence. Okay, at this point, I was the one that knew of the plan. They might all start the same, even if it's right. Yes. Let me look at this stuff. The only other thing I could think of would be to present this letter. I'm just an idiot. Edgeworth is my guess, but just because he randomly showed up the night after. Well, he randomly showed up because Nick was in the hospital, and he had to investigate for Nick. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls had ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me. You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right! Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. Why are you defending him, Maya? If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center. Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! 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 Mr. Godot! You're under fire again! This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you? You are the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? Am I gonna have to make another decision here? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. Yeah, but her big sister was your protege! I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. Objection! However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. Saving again. For the same reason, huh? Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. It's Mia. It's Mia! There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. Piercing intellect. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot, his real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
No, he's Count Olaf.
He's Count Olaf. The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise, but in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault! It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself! Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Ooh, and she poisoned him! And that's where the poison vial that she gave Phoenix, because they were dating at that time. This is all tying together. And I bet you that poison is what harmed his eyes. I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew. And then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. Oh, loved! And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Wright.
Huh?
Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would have never died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. Yikes, bro! It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor? My other reason for living? She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Corain Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearls' visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey.
But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Corain had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you.
Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother!
That would suck! That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you gonna do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
And that was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Kurain, Misty Fay's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fay wouldn't be able to.
Ah! Ah!
What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only 2 possible suspects right now. Maya Fay. And I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, save your game. And then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick, please don't!
Hi there, Straw Hat. Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia, and me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick!
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Fay, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady, tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out, and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed, and I lost consciousness.
Okay, kind of a crazy idea, but if they get married right now, Maya won't have to testify against him. Isn't Maya like 16? And Godot's probably like 40? I don't know. How old is he? Let's see. Age question mark, question mark. Okay, Maya's 19. At least she's of age. Listen, I said it was a crazy idea. These red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break, Trite, even the best of theories. Godot can't be much older than Mia. True. I don't know. Who was it that stabbed Misty Fay? It looks like you still can't prove it. Maya is telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. All right. My goal is to wrap this all up in 40 minutes. Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you could make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure that they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember after all. There was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that? Hi, Disney.
She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement, and also the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should have ever have to in one life. So then what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But...
They went out?
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean? If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight,
maybe the mask was damaged?
Or maybe it was knocked off. Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, Trite? Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened then? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
I thought you just said it was a woman's. What? Did Godot get stabbed? So then that scream came from the killer. That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. Contradiction? Sure. I'm sorry to say this. But that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream? Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Oh! Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. I bet it's the knife. Yeah, the little knife. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? This. Naturally, the dagger that the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right! I forgot about that! This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned that it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. Alright, Godot, I'm gonna need you to take all your clothes off in the middle of court. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. Hey, yo! I know. Nice theory, Trite. Order! Order in the court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Huh. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out I was the killer. Do you really think I'd be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Well, he couldn't have seen the blood.
Yeah, he couldn't have seen it. Exactly! Yes, what does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be! In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness Wait a minute! What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya!
This dagger, you said it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Everybody has more than one set of clothes. Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes. That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them.
He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Ah!
Guys.
Order. Order in the court. What the witness says is true. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Ugh, did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them.
Objection.
That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Ah!
Weren't there extra, like, robes or something in there?
Maybe. There might be. So that's all you got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Ugh! Right now, if Mia Fey were here... If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here? Oh no, we got a nude murderer on the loose, I guess. Come on, Trite. Can you do it or not?
Well, I mean, I would assume if you were naked and your blushing would warm you up enough that you could handle being nude.
Yeah, I guess.
So.
I don't know if you guys can hear my mother. She's watching off screen because she got invested in this case when she was helping me out when I was injured. She said that if you were nude, you'd probably blush, which would keep you warm in the snow. How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you even got one piece of evidence? Save. Everybody says hi.
Hi.
Always excellent insight from her. Thank you. The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. Huh. That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. Oh man, if I get this wrong, it's game over. Good thing I saved. Why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a bloodstain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. The face.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Eyebrow.
Hidden? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I needed to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line, the final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
Well,
Oh, or the
didn't he
hood.
cut his hand over a... Didn't he cut his hand on a coffee thing? Maybe he just, you know... That was an old scene, right? Oh, maybe that's his blood on the sphere. Maybe he hit himself in the head. I mean, not hit himself, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
So I'm thinking it's either the sphere or the hood. No, because that was given to Phoenix.
I think it's the sphere. Because then it would be under his hair.
Yeah.
And he could wash his hair.
Or his face. It could have been his face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this and hope for the best. Huh. I don't know what you're talking about, and frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the... Okay, so that was not right? Isn't that right, Trite? Well, it looks like you've proven one thing, that you're nothing but a fake. I can't reload? Wait a minute, give me one more chance. I don't think so. A promise is a promise. It was fun while it lasted. See you later, Trite. Oops. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further... Okay, I can't skip any of this. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Iris of Hazakura Temple, guilty. Oops. The accused will surrender to the court immediately to be held pending trial at a higher court from within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. Well, I need to reload. Oopsie. Oh, saving? No. Okay. I can prove it.
I gotta figure out where he would hide his shoe.
Okay. So confused. The killer was wounded. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. I don't need to think about why there was no blood stains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. How he hid the wound.
Well, I mean, he's got long sleeves on. He's got a vest on. Did he always have to do some cloak? Did we ever figure out who was flying or who was?
Yeah, it was
that girl
falling.
Washing, that's right.
Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? I don't know, dude. I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question. How much more do I have? Let's see.
Well, did he ever pull his shoes off? Did he like kicked and got stabbed there, or she stabbed his butt, but it was already cracked, so it didn't matter. Right?
What? Would you like a slight hint? Yes, just slight, please. LOL at V's mom. Yeah.
Did Godot ever touch that good thing?
I don't think so.
Is that the thing on
The question is where on the killer's body is the wound. Oh, okay. Well, if that's the question, then I guess I could just present Godot's face, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be happy. So is this not right either? Isn't that right, Trite? Oh, hold up. That was different. Maya's little, like, ghost flashed. What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on... through him? Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Hi, Zippy. It's beneath your mask.
That's what we said,
yeah,
but we didn't know how
I
to
didn't
do
understand what the question was asking. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared.
Oh,
Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right. Your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere,
Maybe his
then
eye
I'd
is
say this
missing.
whole case is solved.
His eyeball's missing.
Ah! He just had fireworks come out his nostrils? What was that? He must be great at 4th of July parties.
Or we don't get to see his face.
I don't know.
Show us your face.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. That was not... neither of those was Phoenix's fault. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life.
What's the alternative? Just kill himself?
I guess. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. You yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran.
He get his eyes averted.
Yeah, I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, and that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man
He
involved.
keeps talking about his eyes.
Do you-
Avert his eyes,
yeah.
close his eyes.
Do you know why? The real reason?
No, why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night in the darkness of the garden when I saw her silhouette. A part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for the revenge? And now I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were just trying to save me.
Oh!
He's like, all of a sudden, randomly bleeding again.
Thanks. Your wound. It's bleeding. Huh. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time
So
a lawyer
he
can
cries
cry...
blood now?
I guess. Maybe it's part of whatever happened to his eyes. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
I still wanted to see his damaged scar face.
That's hardcore, actually. Yeah. I never liked Godot's storyline. He's mad at Phoenix for literally no reason other than being a love-struck kid. This time it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor?
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body, and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk, and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you.
Apologize to me?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister? You only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day.
Fateful day?
The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way! It can't be true! I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny. It was her! You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that.
I like Godot's character, don't get me wrong, I just think his motivations are misplaced. Phoenix was grieving her too, and Godot was so selfish he didn't see that. I can see what you're saying.
8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Noticed what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her, even if it meant her life or mine.
Iris!
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright? Oh, he called me by my real name! Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim Elise Donim. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Coffee, boys! Very well, on the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. Yay! We did the... But does Diego go to jail for being a murderer? Or does he just get away with it because he was a prosecutor? So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? Bring in the dancing lobsters! Exactly. The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Okay, Pearl is, channeling her again.
Mia, I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You are as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things, and along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick.
Maya.
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia, what did she say?
That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya, how? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered.
Ouch!
Francisca,
Still a softie as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent work, Wright.
Huh, Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here in the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow, but where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too. Francisca?
I don't suppose... Oh gosh, Larry.
There's room for me in the group hug, is there? Oh, Larry.
What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once.
That's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh yeah, those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy?
The dog is smart.
I know. Well, yes indeed, I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Franzi? Did I draw you well too?
Oh! My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it? Like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book, Franzi's Whippity... Ah!
Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls, where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly!
Right? You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah.
So is this like the cast all coming out to take their final bow?
Yes, basically.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca, that's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was somebody that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too.
Ow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for?
Pearl, I'd imagine.
Pearl Fey.
The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed it, every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh, hey! So this is where y'all... hang on. Southern accent. So this is where y'all were... Well, looks like we've got quite the bunch here today. Youch! What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just kind of gone down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight.
Oh, pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Detective Gumshoe, you said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Très bien. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby, you're invited too. Forget about me. Pearls and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya. What's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one's heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she's been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that's befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick?
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Ah!
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, Wright. We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. Back to the office? Oh no, back to the village. Hazakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
What's this? You're all back again so soon.
Sister Bikini? I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearlie's here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Oh, okay.
Oh, they fixed the scroll.
Pearlie's not here.
Maya, the hanging scroll.
Someone cleaned it off.
It's got to be pearls.
Mystic Maya! Pearlie! Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I swore that I'd never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother...
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do to pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearlie. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy.
You don't have to lie to me just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do.
Mystic Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini, your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter, but still Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die?
That's the master's talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents.
That's... a photo? Mother...
What's in the photo? What's in the photo? It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Aww, it's a picture of Mia and Maya. That they broke the urn first. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return time and time again.
Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. Okay, that makes sense. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Wahaha, ho ho ho, hee hee hee. All right, we're gonna have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya, I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get and probably don't want to, but what is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course naturally. Huh? That's a great idea after all, Mr. Nick. You'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I could say just one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps, too. Well, then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
Yay! Wonderful. All right, we'll let the... Oh.
I'll really have to work extra hard now. Master of Karain and the office manager of Wright and Co-Law offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the 2 of them by making them a secret reservation.
So we see like 1 credit and then a city.
Yeah, it seems like it. Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you don't just seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. What? How romantic?
Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Karain exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
In the name of electricity, a man will soil himself. Oh yeah, this weird guy.
Desi and I started a company called Mask Star Damask Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is cut it out, please! Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as a side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals.
We're going through every character we've met in the entire trilogy, it seems. Or at least in Trials and Tribulations. Oh yeah, this girl. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre, so I lent him $500,000 and a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
She's weird. Like,
Yeah.
Did you get my blood?
Yeah.
Did you cup of my blood?
A lot of these characters are very weird.
I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper. Hi, Coley. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elg. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. My, more reporters. Since the murder, we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Wahaha. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
Objection!
The only words I think that Phoenix actually says voice-wise is objection and hold it.
Objection! Objection! Objection!
Where's your voice actor credit for doing all of the work? Yeah. I forgot about Payne. Winston Payne. Oh my gosh.
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one's here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper bud had quit and I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? Well, with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I gonna do with all these macadamia nuts? I bring them over to Edgy Point. I can't really accept these, I'm afraid, or something at heart. Oh, when will I ever find a gentleman who...
That's Wendy Oldbag. She's a classic. I finally found something I love to do. Frenzy's whippity whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Oh, HS, I'm sorry you missed it. We're at the end, obviously.
Oh, look at everyone!
Oh, so this is Larry's sketch.
Oh, if it is Larry's sketch, it's pretty good, actually.
And he's gotten better since he...
Drew the flying lady over the burning bridge.
Flying nun.
The flying nun.
Sally Field.
Yeah. Yay! I've played all 3 games in the original trilogy. It only took me like 4 years. We did it! Look, we got the gallery! So cool. Scene creator. Recreate scenes with new settings and characters? That's funny. Fun! Okay. Yeah, Sam Regal, whatever his name is. Yeah. The executive producer was Shinji Mikami. Bro was the director for the first Resident Evil game. An absolute icon. Who be buying V the next trilogy? Don't bother, I already have it. The only Ace Attorney game that I do not have, let me look at my list real quick. There's only one Ace Attorney game that I do not own, and it is... It's actually the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney crossover. Every other Ace Attorney game I already own, so please do not feel the need to buy me anything. We will eventually play them all. I own them, so let's go! So hyped for the next trilogy. It probably won't be immediate. These games are obviously very chunky, and I have a tendency to do a bunch of chunky projects at the same time. So I'm actually so I still have Pokemon White Nuzlocke going on. Still playing Red Dead Redemption 2 with Holland when we both have the chance. We are going in release order. That's how I'm going to be playing them. Yes. I gotta get you that one to complete the circle. That one's like $200 if you find a copy of it, so please do not feel like you have to do that. That's the reason it's the last one that I need for the collection, because it's just so expensive. But anyway, the next game that I'll be playing is just a Steam game that I was gifted that I've been asked to play on stream. So aside from Pokemon White Nuzlocke, which will be our next stream, the next thing that we'll do after that will be start this new Steam game. So, and then after that, I might go to my wheel picker and let my wheel picker tell me what we're playing next. So I still have some Nancy Drew games that I need to play on Senior on stream. So some of those may come up soon too. Haven't done a book stream in a long time. There's a lot of options, but, yep, here we go. There's a lot coming on down the pipeline, but thank you so much. Yeah, I need to, HS. I have a bunch of Steam stuff on my wheel, so, don't worry about that. I'll make sure that it's in the running. I got a recommendation for you, but I will message you about it. Okay, that's totally fine. You can do that. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Please take care of yourselves. The weather is nasty lately. If I have a forecast of getting snow and ice in a winter storm, then I imagine everybody who's living north of me has an even worse weather storm coming. So please be careful. I really appreciate everybody for being here. Let's see. We are going to go raid Dorky Dino because she is currently streaming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I think it would be really fun to pop in for her. Ooh, 3 stream streak. Scared about the weather? Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous too. Why can't I scroll up at all? That's very goofy. You're welcome. Yeah, Winter Storm, we've had snow and ice all weekend. At least I saved the streak. There you go. All right, so if anybody wants to raid, this is the raid message. We're going to go raid over to Dorky. And I'll see you guys over there. Take care of yourselves. Much love. Bye-bye.